Alright, it's super cold right now, and so I've been trying to stay on top of collecting eggs so that they don't freeze and break on me. But anyways, I don't know if you guys have seen that internet poster or not, and it's like what my mom thinks I do, what my friends think I do, what I think I do, and what I really do. And as far as what chicken keeping goes, I think my mom thinks that I'm basically living out American Gothic. She's a Japanese-American Angelino, and I'm living in northern New England raising chickens, so I think she thinks it's American Gothic. I think my friends pretty much think I sit in a pile of chicken poop all day. I think that I sit in a pasture producing wholesome eggs and having nonverbal communications with my chickens. The reality is I just carry a lot of grain sacks and don't make a lot of money. But that got me thinking, I think most people that keep chickens, at least beyond just a couple, have some sort of visions for financial solvency for their flock, maybe not paying the mortgage, but some sort of way to keep themselves afloat. And so what I wanted to do is really quantify how much money you're making, or hopefully not, but possibly losing by raising your chickens. And so what I did is I tracked the usage of food for one bag and the production of eggs, and then calculated out my expenses, and I wanted to share that information with you. So I tracked these at a very, very cold point in time. This was actually like a record-setting cold. And so if you can see, these are the dates and the production of eggs I got each day. I think there were 18 birds in the coop at the time. And what I ended up with for the total of 12 days, which was from opening a bag and filling an empty feeder to that feeder being empty again, so one full bag's worth of food consumption, got 149 eggs. That's 12.4 dozen. I sell my egg for $4 a dozen. I don't sell them for less than that. It's not to say that I sell every single egg that I produce, but I just value them at $4 a dozen. I sell most of them that way, and then I give away some, and I also trade some. So they definitely have $4 worth of value to me. And anyway, so basically over that 12 days, I produced 49.6 dollars worth of saleable eggs, whether or not I sold them or not. And then here are my expenses. And if you, here, I have to zoom out a little bit. Here we go. So on the top I have what are called my concrete expenses. These are actual expenditures that I consume. And so the first is obviously one whole bag of feed. That's how I track this study, and a bag of feed cost me $13.78. It is a really cold period of time when I was tracking this usage, so I actually use 1.5 bales of shavings at $5 a bale, so that's $7.50. Usually it'd be more like one bale of shavings for that period of time. I also had that I have a 200-watt heater in there, and it was pretty much cranking almost 24/7 during that period of time. So I calculated out, I used 54 kilowatts of electricity in that 12 days. That's $7.40 with electricity. I usually don't run my heater that much, but it was just like negative 15 degrees, and I was feeling bad for the birds. And the miscellaneous, I think this is kind of a high estimate, but that's like lime and grit and oyster shell and any little scratch treats that I give out. That's like $2 for 12 days. I think that that's a way high estimate, but you know, you can't go too high on cheap things like that. I have what are called my depreciated expenses, and I'm not an economist, so I don't know the best way to explain this, but basically the concept there is that there are things that will have value, and over time that value gets used up. So in the case of my eggs, I have birds and I have the coop, and both of those will depreciate or start with a certain value and then end up being zero value. And so with chickens, we definitely take the farm approach on them, and basically what I say is that a chicken has 20 good laying months in it, because it takes about 4 or 5 months to raise it up to laying, and then around 2 years is when it's all laid out. So I buy my birds started, and they're $20 a piece, ready to lay. Then I get 20 months out of them before they are all laid out. So that's about $1 per bird per month. Is what it's costing. So if you say that this study was 12 days and I had 18 birds in there, and you do the math, essentially that's the same as 6 bird months, or $6 worth of bird depreciation, meaning that my flock is losing $6 worth of value in that 12 days due to birds senescing out. So that's another cost that I factored in at $6. And then the other cost is the coop depreciation, and I actually kind of went all out on my coop. It's pretty nice, and I spent about $1,300 on it initially, and I depreciated it out over 10 years. And so that's $10.83 a month basically in depreciated value on the coop. In 12 days is 0.4 of 4/10 of a month, so that's $4.33 with the depreciated value. So that means that my ongoing expenses are $41 and a penny, And so that if we keep on going down, we need to calculate my other inputs. And one of my other major inputs in there is time. And so I basically spend 10 minutes a day, 7 days a week, and that's just bare minimum. Going out in the morning, grabbing eggs, checking feeders and waters, and then going back in the evening, grabbing eggs, closing everything up. So that's 10 minutes a day plus 30 minutes a week to do the big cleaning. Or that's 100 minutes a week, or 1.66 hours a week. So 12 days is 1.71 weeks, and so that means that I put in 2.83 hours of labor over that 12 days to produce those eggs. So as you can see now, we're going into the interesting part, which is profit. So my gross profit is $49.60. My expenses were $41.01, which means that over that course of 12 days, I made $8.59. And if you divide that out per hour that you put in, I'm making a whopping $3.04 an hour. So the reality is I'm probably not even making that, because like I said, I eat some of my eggs and sometimes I give them away. So it's probably just a break-even proposition. If I don't depreciate out my birds and whatnot, I just know anecdotally from the money that goes in and out of the jar is that I definitely cover my ongoing expenses, but not much beyond that. That's just a sad reality with small-scale farm production, is that you're probably not going to make money doing it. But there are other reasons to do it, and I hope this was of interest to you.